Well, apparently we have a new weekly tradition here on T.U.G.S, and it's reporting on the wild world of eSports and the surprisingly consistent scandals that are shaking this burgeoning form of entertainment. Every new esport show or program has its growing pains, and it goes without saying that scandals are always present no matter where you look, but no one has had it worse during its early stages than the Overwatch League. Who could have known that managing over 100 children and hoping they wouldn't pull some stupid bullshit or break the law would be so hard?
Here we go!
No, you fucking cuck!
Peggy 18.
Now we should probably set the typical joking tone of this show aside for a few minutes as we sit you down to have a little chat. Why don't you have a seat over there? Now, if you're over the age of 18 and chatting it up with girls way younger than you should cut that shit out. If you're 21 and sexting 14-year-olds while playing as a professional athlete in a major competition, you're a fucking moron who deserves to get banned from the league, blacklisted, and probably go to jail.
Yep.
Face some pretty harsh charges.
And as disturbing as it is to say, that's exactly what happened to a competitor in the Overwatch League who played for the Boston Uprising over the weekend when two separate underage girls came forward with accusations that 21-year-old Jonathan Dream Casper Sanchez had been having inappropriate and sexual conversations with them over text, Snapchat, and FaceTime, where he allegedly coerced them into sending explicit photographs while apparently knowing full well that they were underage. In the statement from the first accuser, alongside screenshots of their conversations, the 14-year-old says that, quote, "After talking with close friends on the subject over the course of a month, I realized what a power dynamic it was. I'm stepping forward to hope this doesn't happen to anyone in the future. Dream Casper should have known better to engage explicit activity with someone 7 years younger than him, especially when he represents a team. He used his social status to blind and take advantage of me." Eesh.
Shortly after that first girl came forward, a second girl, this one 16 years old, confirmed to outlets that she too had been messaging back and forth with Dream Casper and that he'd actually bought her a flight out to Los Angeles. In a statement to Heavy.com, she said, "He was messaging / FaceTiming, etc. with me. He told me he liked me and even bought me a plane ticket to go and see him, pressured me to send him nudes, etc." She also added screenshots of their conversations as well, where she has him listed as Dum Dum Overwatch Boy. Well, she got that part right.
The Boston Uprising, which is actually owned by the same guy who owns the New England Patriots apparently, they were quick to respond and gave Dream Casper the boot, saying in a statement on Twitter, "The Boston Uprising has learned of allegations against Jonathan Dream Casper Sanchez. We take all allegations of this nature very seriously, and as a result, Dream Casper has been suspended from the Boston Uprising indefinitely. We will not be commenting any further while we investigate the matter." Now, shortly after that, they tweeted, "The Boston Uprising has terminated the contract of Jonathan Dream Casper Sanchez." So another week, another scandal for the Overwatch League.
Who knew it would be this bad?
Pretty bad.
I mean, I could have
Pretty
I
bad.
could have called it.
Yeah.
But hey, let's move on to lawsuits. Those are fun, right?
Yay!
Yeah.
As PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds desperately attempts to keep itself as far away from H1Z1 and as close to Fortnite as possible, they've thrown in a new map, some new outfits, a few tournaments, and a lawsuit or two, which should all help bring in some money to that studio. So here's what's going on. Recently, court documents were obtained by Torrent Freak that showed off the fact that PUBG Corp is accusing a Chinese mobile developer named NetEase of violating copyright laws with two of its games, Rules of Survival and Knives Out. In their reporting, they indicated that, quote, "In a complaint filed in a federal court in California, PUBG alleges that the two mobile apps were released before PUBG's own mobile application to gain market share. In doing so, the company copied several crucial elements without permission."
It continues, saying, quote, "The 155-page complaint lists a long summary of elements that PUBG believes are infringing on its copyrighted works. This includes buildings, landscapes, vehicles, weapons, clothing, the pre-play area, and the shrinking gameplay area. On information and belief, defendants copied PUBG's expressive depictions of the pre-play area, where other depictions could have been used for the purpose of evoking the same gameplay experience depicted in Battlegrounds. One example reads, the game also features PUBG's iconic winner winner chicken dinner salute, which is displayed to the winner of the game. In addition, both games use references to this phrase in their advertising efforts."
I mean, especially if you went on the Google Play Store like 6 months ago,
Oh, yeah.
and searched Battlegrounds, there was like 100 games with the same font, the same pictures, everything.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure this is just one of many. Anyway, the most comical part about the whole thing is that PUBG apparently alleges that the, quote, specific use of a frying pan as both a melee weapon and a piece of armor is a piece of evidence in the case against NetEase and their games. Which basically means that PUBG thinks they are somehow the first game to include a frying pan or cast iron skillet in their game, which is totally not true, as pointed out by multiple people online, because even Team Fortress 2 specifically had a frying pan in their game back in 2010 before you were even born.
Yeah, Gabe Newell is going to be on this lawsuit like flies on shit.
Also, in a hilarious twist, NetEase themselves have decided that they'll go ahead and sue any companies who copy their totally original game, creating some kind of weird lawsuit vortex that everyone will inevitably be sucked into until the universe collapses.
No, we're the ones suing the copycats. That'll hold up. Why would we launch lawsuits against other companies stealing our ideas if we stole ideas from other companies? It just wouldn't make sense.
You know what would solve all this? Steel tariffs. Take that, China.
Yeah, we got you. You can have our soybeans.
You soy boys.
Yeah. Anyways, also because of this lawsuit, other outlets have pointed out something particularly rage-inducing thanks to all those court filings. If you were mad at EA last November but are still very much in love with Battlegrounds, it's another time to sit down before you faint, because according to their own documents, PUBG might be pay to win.
No.
What? Swipe. Well, in the lawsuit filed against NetEase, they have a quote from the developer of PUBG, which basically admits that the game's clothing items, which you can pay money for, actually affect the gameplay.
No.
What? Yeah, so here's what it says. Clothing does affect gameplay in terms of camouflage. Clothing can be used to assist the player to blend in with the environment, making the player less visually detectable. In particular, Battlegrounds includes a ghillie suit, a full body suit covered with camouflaging material typically used by snipers. The ghillie suit allows the player to become nearly visually invisible depending upon the terrain. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, do these people even know what game they make? Yeah, so you can only get the ghillie suit from a drop, but there's certainly some clothing items available for purchase via crates or just buying them outright in the marketplace that could potentially help you blend in.
Shame.
I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, if you wear the yellow guy and you only hang
You're
out...
going to be seen.
But if you hang out in the wheat fields, you won't.
Yeah.
If you wear green and you hang out in the trees, you can only go to certain parts of the map. You're not going to just be invisible.
Well, Elliot, pay to win.
I don't know. No!
Pay to win.
There's a lot of things to say bad about Brendan Green and the PUBG Corp, but this isn't one.
All right, I'll take your level-headed approach to this with a grain of salt, but I'm saying pay to win. But speaking of Battle Royale games, a new challenger has arrived, and it's Cliffy B.
Woo!
Yeah, the dude who made Gears of War has come out with his own Battle Royale game after the, okay, let's be honest here, embarrassing launch of his team-based shooter Lawbreakers, which landed like a wet fart on the gaming scene and was only showing an active user base of about 100 just weeks after its launch. What was the recent number, Shibs?
13.
13 active players.
The best of the best.
The thing is, if you went out on the right time of day and played Lawbreakers, you were in the top 10 in the fucking world. And
You could find a game.
to someone that doesn't play video games a lot, you could actually use that as a way to make yourself look cool.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, buddy, I'm top 10 in this game called Lawbreakers in the world. And then he'd be like, hey, do you want a beer? Be like, yeah. And then he'll tell his friends, I drank with one of the best gamers in the world. And then his friend would be like, was it Ninja? And he'd be like, I think so.
See, I told you my theory that no one's actually playing Lawbreakers. They're just using it as a secure, encrypted way to communicate their terrorism plan.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Well, he can make money selling the information to the government.
Yeah, you could.
Anyways, Lawbreakers, it was a decent game. It had unique things that made it different from team-based shooters like Overwatch, but yeah, it never built the online community that it so desperately needed to succeed.
Flash forward a few months, and now we've got Radical Heights!
Woo!
A game that is admittedly in what they are calling Triple Extreme Early Access, and is literally just another take on the Battle Royale genre. So, is it any good?
Well, we played it.
Well, I mean,
It's fine.
It's not bad.
I thought it was a lot better than I thought it would be, Elliot. Me and Elliot, we got together on Tuesday morning and we played the game. We obviously couldn't get into a duos match because that was broken at the time of launch.
Very messy.
But
Extreme early access.
we were able to, because it was so early on, queue up in the same room by hitting Q at the same time. And we never found each other, although I did get to spectate you. Here's the problems. It is extremely basic. There's really not a lot of textures on anything. It's all just straight out of the box game creation. The ammo is squares. The way you play the game, it's fun. When you kill people, money explodes. You can go to an ATM, deposit that money for use later in the game, or you can spend it on upgrades that are littered around the play field. It's got an interesting way to use the lethal cloud that moves in, where it just takes over these boxes in a random order.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Well, you know how I know this game's terrible? I got 8 kills my first time playing.
Oh.
So there's no way this game's any good.
All right. So you're
That should not happen.
So you've been a pro at 2 Cliffy B games now.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much anything he makes, you're the best at.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's free to play.
It's fine. It's like it's as good as like H1Z1 is, which is like if you have no money and you have a few hours to kill, yeah,
Sure.
why not?
Yeah, and you can ride a BMX bike, but it's very hard to
The
control.
physics are very bad.
Yeah. There's no glider. You just smash into the ground.
There's no falling damage at all, which I kind of like because falling damage is generally stupid. But yeah, I don't know. It's maybe it'll be good. Who knows?
I'd like to see. I'm very curious at how often they update and just how much they fix and improve on each of those updates.
I liked in the character creation they have choose your gender, and under for women it said coming soon.
Coming soon.
Because that's got to be super hard.
Sorry, ladies.
To buy a female character model off the Unreal Engine store.
Well,
and
obviously,
copy and paste the code.
what I think happened is they completely designed this for like macho dudes who want to dress up as wrestlers and wear 80s band metal t-shirts, and then they were like, oh, fuck. We didn't make any clothing for female. Oh, fuck, we didn't make a female character at all. So they're probably just coming up with things you can buy for the female character to wear, which probably like a G-string or something classy.
Yeah.
And then it'll be unlocked. Because as we've seen with the male models,
They are male models.
Got a bulge, you got a big thick ass. So
Yeah, when you're crawling, that dong is just scraping the
scraping it. Yeah, it's gonna get caught on a tripwire. That's the problem. But let's get on to a game that deserves a real review from a real games journalist, and his name is Shibby. Shibby, let's get you in here and you can show us how it's done, because we're tired of embarrassing the true video game critics out there with our reviews.
T.U.G.S boys and T.U.G.S girls, this week I'm reviewing another Battle Royale game.
No!
A game from the most legendary developers of all time, one of the most. A game from one of the most legendary publishers of all time. A game which attempted to make a $1 billion franchises with an S. A game developed on one of the most successful game platforms ever to be created.
What mysterious magical game is this shit?
Of course, I'm talking about Cliffy B and Radical. Well, that's for next week. Of course, I'm talking about Kirby Battle Royale. Developed by HAL Laboratory, makers of such games as Pokemon Snap and Super Smash, and published by the softest of soft boys, Nintendo. Released in God's country, aka North America, in January, this Kirby game,
North America is not a country.
by far the worst game I've ever played in my entire life. It's only available on the most casual of gaming systems, handhelds, with so many iterations of itself that the Apple iPhone is jealous. Not an easy task. Nintendo is trying to steal $40, AAA handheld money, for a Battle Royale game that doesn't even have a battle bus, an airplane, parachutes, building or offshore bank account money mechanics. What kind of garbage is this? Lawbreakers?
Ooh.
Realistically, Kirby does not need a parachute. That's beyond the point, viewer. Come on, Nintendo, this is the most soulless Kirby game ever created on a dying platform. No, not additional minigames that they packaged together in an actual story-driven Kirby game, but a minigame spin-off trying to capitalize on the Battle Royale hype, trying to trick children into spending $40. Now that should be criminal. Overall, this Kirby game is the worst Battle Royale experience I ever played in my entire life. And viewer, I played the PUBG desert map. Back to the drawing books, Nintendo, because you give new meaning to Kirby given the suck. Do noi by 0 out of 10.
Wow. Safe to say that we're as confused as you are.
All right.
But since Shibby said the word Kirby, let's take a look back in time for a real review. One that's hopefully a bit more coherent and not just the ramblings of a madman. Oh, here you go. Here's a review for a game called Kirby's Return to Dreamland from Amazon user Sharon D. They titled their review, Kirby's Return to Dreamland. It's not just for kids. Here's what Sharon had to say about this Kirby title.
This game is played with my grandson and myself. We love it. I'm not very good at it, but he loves helping me out and thinks that it's great to have a grandma that plays video games. Believe it or not, there are good things that can come out of video games. 1 star.
What?
I give it 1 star. It's like golf, right?
I'm very hard to please.
This game is number 1. Next, my grandson said he's going to teach me how to use Amazon.com. This is great for shopping.
It's like bowling and golf and all the great games out there. I sound like Mickey Mouse for some reason. 1 star.
Playing video games with my grandson.
She's usually very typically hard to please. Usually gives 0 stars. She's like, this one broke the mold, and I will award it a star, which to me is the highest acclaim that you can give any product. A star. Probably a teacher, because when you get a gold star on a test, you fucking aced it.
That's shiny.
So she gave it a gold star, not knowing that there was 5 of them. But still, it brought down the overall score of Kirby.
Wow.
Anyways.
No one's getting bonuses this year.
Nope.
Follow us on Twitch, guys. Watch our EGC live stream this past Monday. We had the penultimate gamer. What's the degenerate? What does he call himself? The quintessential gamer. That's
Yeah. Lawrence
Lawrence
Sontag
Sontag,
from
he was on
Funhouse.
it.
So watch our little podcast with Lawrence Sontag, and then watch last week's Tugs, where Overwatch, it's not just coming out with Retribution, it's coming out with a Battle Royale mode.
Of course it fucking is.
Yeah, huh? Well,
Of course.
All right.
Kirby Battle Royale.